Hey everyone, welcome back to Rewind and React, the music video review podcast. And today we have a special fun episode, I believe. We are going to do our 2025 year in review. We debuted about a year ago at this time. We have now 22 episodes under our belt. They said we wouldn't make it, but here we are. We'll see what happens next year, but we're going strong. And yeah, we're going to talk about kind of the year, our favorite topics of videos, and everything we've kind of looked at over the past year.
Yeah, I like that. Shout out to all the haters who thought we wouldn't make it.
Exactly. I'm sure there's an Avril song related to that.
You got to be popular to have haters, and we're popular enough now. We are now an award-winning show.
Mm.
And I'll tell you who we have to thank for that the most is our producer and host, Adam here. Congratulations, Adam. Thanks for putting this all together. This has been such a fun project. And here we are a year in. This has been so much fun hanging out with you and talking about some of these awesome music videos.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I love not just looking back at videos we remember, but videos that came out that I didn't even realize existed, or videos that have been around for a while that I didn't even know existed. And for anyone that, might not be aware, and I don't know if we mentioned it on another episode, but Rob and I used to make fun videos when we met in college, just covers of other songs and stuff like that. So, this is like really getting back kind of to our college roots, so to speak.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've even covered some videos on this podcast that we covered in college. So it's yeah, comes full circle.
Before I forget, because I forget this every episode, don't forget to like and subscribe or give the thumbs up or whatever people do on these, whatever platform you're listening on, because this is going to be one of probably your favorite episodes.
Yes, absolutely. And I mentioned we won an award. We are a 2025 marathon show for Spotify. So thank you everybody listening on Spotify. I think there was an award or two on YouTube as well. Everybody who's checked this out, it's been awesome having your input and your ears for this show.
Yeah, yeah. And hopefully you'll listen into the new year. Before we look back, let's, talk about kind of some of the stuff that happened this year that's not music video related. And Rob, time and time we've talked about concerts. So we're going to kick off with that. What's been kind of your favorite or your favorite concerts so far this year?
Yeah, I had to go back. There's been a lot. I will say there are three concerts I was supposed to go to this year. Simple Plan with Bowling for Soup and 303, Garbage Concert, and Nine Inch Nails that all happened within the same week. And when that's the first time I've ever gotten COVID was that week. So I had to miss all three of them. But I did see a lot of other great ones. I will say, I went to see Marilyn Manson because a friend kept asking me to go. And I've seen him a few times now. And every time afterwards, I'm like, that wasn't very good. Like, I don't know why I keep going to these concerts. I think I have to just accept I'm not a big Marilyn Manson fan. I really just like the beautiful people. Another concert of note I saw was Kesha. That was an interesting one. My wife and I were both excited about it, but our babysitter fell through at the last minute. So we took our 7-year-old daughter to a Kesha concert. Actually, she might have been 6 at that time. We took her to a Kesha concert, which was the wrong move. It was called the Tits Out Tour, which should have been a red flag. Kesha was great. She's definitely leaned much more into the pop concert performance. We saw her back in the Animal when her original debut album came out. Animal came out, and it was a rock concert, which I did not expect. It was at a smaller venue, the Masquerade in Atlanta. So it was a big change this time. Obviously, she's gotten so much bigger. It's more along the lines of what you'd think of, a Lady Gaga or something like that performance. Still really good, not appropriate for 6-year-olds.
Do you think Kira understood what she was watching, or like you think it'll just kind of wash over her?
Man, so there was a lot of sexual stuff. I don't think she understood that part of it, but my wife kept trying to cover her eyes, which only makes her want to watch it more. I will say Kesha did play one of my daughter's favorite songs, Dinosaur, from the original album, which is not a hit, but it was really cool that she performed that one. And my daughter I looked at the set list ahead of time and told her. So my daughter made a little poster for the Dinosaur song that she got to hold up. So we still had fun, just not as much fun as we would have had Stan's Baby.
You make me think about this, and I don't know if you see this often, and I don't know if I have really thoughts on this, but I've noticed you go to concerts and you notice people bring their like really little kids and they give them like the the earmuffs to protect them. I don't understand. Like, is it like couldn't find a sitter, or they just want their kid who has developing ears to go to a rock show or a big concert and
So,
listen to music? I don't know if I understand that.
so I can speak on that because we did it. Back Kira's first concert was like 3 or 4 years ago. let's see, she would have been in maybe pre-K or something like that. We took her to Twice, which is a K-pop band. They do a lot of cutesy songs. So yeah, Kira had like seen their songs. Her favorite song was a Twice song. So like she'd seen the music videos. It was very kid appropriate concert. However, there weren't a lot of kids there because it's a late night concert, or not late night, but 8 o'clock start. So we took Kira and we had the headphones and everything. She did not like the headphones, but we were far enough away where she didn't really need them. She had a blast. We had taken her to that concert intentionally because we knew that she would appreciate it. I've seen kids at other concerts where I'm like, I don't think the kid's enjoying this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta curate it a little bit. But yeah, every concert we've taken her to outside of Kesha, we intentionally took her because we thought she would enjoy it. Like we took her to Avril Lavigne a few years ago.
Wow.
She loved it. Oh, I think it was last year actually. Yeah, but she's getting at that age now where she passed out like halfway through the concert because it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's my age. Yeah, I'm passing out too.
But my top 2 concerts of the year, runner up is Falling in Reverse. We've not really covered them on this podcast yet, but we're going to at some point because their music videos are incredible.
Mm, I think they're very CGI heavy.
They are very CGI heavy.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like a
watching a green screen and
yeah,
someone's head floating.
it's like a Marvel movie or something like that. It's yeah.
Yeah, one of the bad ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the concert is intense. He's a great front man. Loved all of it. The only reason I didn't put that number one, I think, is because I'd seen him before. So this was just it was another great experience. But it's so hard to beat the band that we talk about almost every episode, Baby Metal.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah.
Finally got out to a Baby Metal concert, and wow, what an experience. The crowd was amazing. The band, awesome. Like, it's a heavy metal band with these 3 girls in front of it who really know how to lead the crowd. It is an experience. Especially, I'll say the last 3 songs. They figured it out. They knew exactly what to end with. And those last 3 songs just keep ramping up and up and up to this like glorious ending. It's like a 9-minute song is the last one, but it just keeps like almost like a what's that? Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, where it just kind of keeps changing to the next level, the next level. It's weird to say this, but there are like synchronized actions by the mosh pit to the song. And if you watch their video, like the music video for it is just a concert video, which is what is perfect for them because the crowd knows what to do at these moments. So yeah, Baby Metal definitely takes the cake for me. Favorite concert of the year.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and it was also at like a good sized venue, right? It wasn't like an arena show.
It was at the Roxy in Atlanta, which is it's a good sized venue, something like the Tabernacle, the Roxy. Yeah, those are great as a concert goer because if you go to something like State Farm Arena, it's just too, not that it's too big for the band, but it's just too big as a crowd member. Like you want to be able to get right up, have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, arena shows are tough.
I don't like arena shows. I hate stadium shows. Like shows at any baseball stadium, that's awful. They don't make it for music.
Yeah, the acoustics aren't there. Well, I will say my top show was at a football stadium.
Yes.
I'll talk about some of the other ones I liked first. So Everclear came to town.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was a surprise. And it was a tour for the not so much for the Afterglow, but whatever the album was beforehand. And they played like every song from that album, and then they played a few of their hits from Afterglow. Yeah, it's crazy. They were already like an older band when they became big for us. And Art, the lead singer, still got it. He's older. He has some health issues, so he's not like 100%. He's not playing the guitar in any of those songs, but it was a fun surprise to kinda, like, relive your high school days listening to Everclear.
Yeah, I've seen Everclear before, and I loved Art. Is that his name, the singer? Yeah, I got to meet him after the concert. Like he came out and just like hung out with the crowd. Super cool. Was it Sparkle and Fade? Was that the?
Yes. Yeah, it
Okay,
was that reunion. It was like the 20th or 30th anniversary tour for
okay.
that.
Yeah, Santa Monica and
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, Everclear is one of those bands that had hits, and it's weird how nobody really talks about them anymore. Obviously, they're not putting out those hits now, but yeah, it's weird that like how many big hits they had.
Well, it's funny too 'cause, going back to our Britney Spears episode, it was like the '90s grunge alternative that was, like, fading.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another surprise band I will say is Cage the Elephant, and I won tickets to them, and that was at like a big, not an arena show, but a big venue. So it was kind of it was annoying in that aspect. But Cage the Elephant is another band that I thought maybe they had like one hit. I remember No Rest for the Wicked,
Mhm.
but you listen to them and there's like 10 hits that I didn't realize were all them. So they did a great show and really got me to like get into them as a band. That being said, though, my top show was Kendrick Lamar, and that was his GNX tour. And yeah, that was like, if you had to do an arena show, I think the show where they do theatrics. And we'd also saw Beyonce. That was my, I think, wife's top show. But I'm a big Kendrick fan, and like, yeah, watching kind of how they set up all the cameras. They just do all these cool things that you can't do on a small venue. Really kind of won it over for me.
Yeah, and I guess when I talk about I don't like arena shows. Well, I don't like stadium shows. There's some bands that are just perfect for the smaller venues. Like Sum 41, awesome band for a smaller venue. But there are two that come to mind: Muse and Rammstein. They need to be in arenas. Like you need that space for what they do. And it sounds like the same thing for what you're talking about with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would do great on a small show, but if this is your big stadium tour, you got to pull out all stops.
Yes, yeah, yeah, you do.
So let's hop into favorite new album of the year, I guess. It's what I should have called it. I don't know. Maybe I should have titled that better. I did say favorite album of the year for our discussion, but I was thinking new albums. But let me know your thoughts.
I would assume you meant of the year. Yeah, 2025. Favorite album of the year, 1996. For me, I looked at my listening history, and one absolutely stood out above all others. Uh, I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite, but certainly within my household, the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack. I do love it. It's great music, but it was certainly the one we listened to the most and still do. But yeah, huge shout out there. I I looked into it and I didn't listen to a lot of full albums this year, like new ones. And it's kind of because artists aren't releasing albums as much as they used to. They're doing like singles and, small EPs. Few little shout outs I had there. Young and Dumb by Avril Lavigne, just a single that came out, but I love that song. Checkered Flag by Dami. One Heart by, here we go. Here's one of those names I'm going to have to pronounce that we're going to get in the comments. Aratashi Gakko.
Oh yeah, that one.
Come at me, guys. I'm sure I mispronounced that. And then I've Empathy by I've. All like, great singles that came out this year that I'm still listening to every week. So Metal Fourth by Baby Metal came out this year. It's kind of weird to call it the album of the year because it is a collection of songs that they've been putting out as singles over the last 3 years. Baby Fourth is the runner up, but I got to go with From Zero by Linkin Park.
Ooh.
It's a great album. So they changed singers, obviously. Well, not changed, but they replaced Chester, who was passed away. And it's been, 7 years since he died. So it was a
Mhm.
big change. And I love that they went in a slightly different direction. They could have gotten somebody who sounds just like Chester, but instead they got a female singer who just gives it a different edge. Like
Mhm.
all the new songs, they have a different path that's kind of formed. Also, I think you got a lot more creative control from Mike Shinoda now. But then also, when she sings their old songs in concerts and stuff like that, it's fun because it gives it a new little flair to the song.
So the industry has changed where a lot more singles are coming out and then they'll release an album later. So I don't think there was as much, but Lord, who I know you're not like a big fan, she had a big album come out this year, Virgin, which was pretty good. I liked it. I've liked all of her albums. I think that might be my favorite new album of the year that I remember. But on another level, also, and every time I say this, people around me are like, "Oh, I didn't realize they made an album." Or still around. But Bush came out with a
Oh,
new album this year, I Beat Loneliness. And yes, it's not as good as the old stuff, but I like it. I listened to it all the way through. They have some good hits. Gavin still has that voice that really carries. I think that's really helps Bush. So yeah, I've had a fun time with that album as well. And again, they did release it this year.
one of my favorite subgenres or categories of music is bands from the 90s who've kind of evolved their sound. And even though they're not popular anymore, they're still putting stuff out. It's like my favorite thing. I'm a huge Sum 41 fan and I've followed them their entire career. And yeah, they're completely different now than what they used to be. And so it's really cool to just see how this pop punk band or grunge band like Bush navigated the waters of the music industry and life and came up with new stuff that they're putting out now. Very fun. I was completely unaware about this one, but
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
definitely check it out.
Yeah, I guess I'm on a one person mission. I'm not even like a huge Bush fan. It just popped up on my Spotify one day. I was like, oh, well, let's go see what they say. So,
So, does it sound like old Bush, or is it like a different sound now?
it's a little, and I don't remember the later albums, like when Chemical Between Us, that album and stuff like that. I think that was a little more electronic-y, but it's his same voice. I think it's less grungier than the earlier stuff, if that makes sense. So less like very guitar heavy, but still a lot of good guitars.
My favorite era of Bush was actually that Chemicals Between Us. I appreciated that more. Bush never really had like a strong drum beat. That's a
Mhm.
weird way to say it, but it was very kind of it's kind of Marilyn Manson-y where it doesn't have a driving beat. It's these slower paced songs that have a lot of like these flare guitar sounds, like just making odd sounds with guitars, and
Yeah.
then Gavin singing over it. But then Chemicals Between Us and a few others came out that were much more like, driving beat, up pace, that I just appreciated a lot more.
Yeah, well, then you might like this album.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Let's talk about some video stuff. Now, we talked about a lot of videos this year, but we haven't talked about any videos that came out this year. So, what were, I guess, either some of your favorite or maybe like noteworthy videos that came out this year that you're like, wow, this is really cool?
So I've got 5 from across the pond, the other pond, the bigger pond. Uh, so you've probably not heard of these.
Australian bands?
You've probably heard of 1 or 2 of the band names, but choreography-wise, best video of the year and one of the best of, like, the last decade, Like Jenny by a girl named Jenny. She is a member of Blackpink, and so they all kinda did their solo projects this year, and if you're into dance choreography, this thing will blow your mind. It is amazing. Kind of in that same vein, well, a little different, but Jump by Blackpink. This one got a lot of flack when it came out for being too AI heavy, which is weird because there's no AI in it. It's just there's a lot of CG and or CGI and weird effects that they do, but it's really fun once you get past that. And I kind of appreciate it because of those now. Just fun little special effects that they do. Justice by Dreamcatcher, probably not one you've heard of, but they're kind of like a horror K-pop band. Sounds very strange. This was their final song before they disbanded. And Rebel Heart by Ive. This one's one of those visual videos. Like, there's not like a cohesive storyline, but they just do a lot of really cool aesthetic things that I'm in love with. There's this whole scene of this girl in a bride outfit in front of a burning playground. Sounds very weird when I say it out loud, but it is just beautiful. So, Korean wise, those 4 videos really stood out to me. And of course, my girls, Baby Metal, had From Me to You, another really great video. This one's actually got a music video. It's not just a concert footage one, but we get them fighting off a giant monster of some sort. Yeah. Very fun video. Let's bring it back over stateside. Yellow Card. Speaking of bands from the 2000s that you haven't heard of in a while, Yellow Card had a video in a Blockbuster video store called
Yeah.
Better Days. They're dressed up as, like Maverick from Top Gun and Karate Kid. I think there's a Goonies reference in there. So fun stuff in that one.
I've seen that one. So I think we've talked about maybe even covering it. I like the video. I don't know if the song is that good. So, and I've noticed while watching videos for that podcast, like the song has to be at least enjoyable enough for me to really enjoy the video. I've learned. So
Oh, yeah,
it is a
absolutely.
fun video, but yeah, the song's okay.
They definitely go hand in hand. Like a bad video with a good song, you can be like, all right, it's a pretty good video, right?
Exactly.
But I like the song. And I'll tell you what, though, you're not alone because a lot of Yellow Card fans were not appreciative of this when it first came out because it is a journey away from what Yellow Card used to sound like. And the reason is they have a new producer for this one, Travis Barker. You can hear it in the song, like the like open drum sound, very heavy drums. Yeah, signature Travis Barker.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if he's produced other stuff or if this is like his first attempt.
All the new Avril Lavigne songs he produced. He's got quite a few artists under his belt now. He's got a whole production company that's been doing really well. Okay, you can roast me on this one in the comments, but I have no idea how to say this guy's name. But YouTube randomly showed this video to me, and I'm loving it. The song's very fun too. The song is called 1800, and the artist is BB Nos or BBNO dollar sign. I have no idea how to say this name. I should have looked this up before the
BB
podcast.
knows? Yeah, BB no dollar sign. Maybe it's BB no dollar sign, you know.
He's got a couple other songs that I like listen to. I was like, I think I've heard this in like a commercial or on the radio or something like that. But the video is very fun. It kind of reminds me of Cheerleader, just with the structure of the video and everything. But yeah, very fun video, very fun song. However, my favorite video of the year, this is a lyric video, but it's got like a storyline in the lyric video. Okay, but this is the last time by The Offspring. They have an official video that came out later that's not as good as the lyric video, which is sad, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, the lyric video though is so fun. It's got this Frankenstein theme that fits in with the lyrics of the song really well and like a battered relationship. I don't want to talk too much on it because I think we might cover this one sometime in the future. But
Yeah, I remember this one now. It is a cool lyric video. I didn't think that song was so recent. I thought it was like from a decade ago. Is this a new song or is this they're
yeah,
still around too? gosh.
Yeah. They just had a whole new album come out, did a big world tour. It's huge.
Not on your favorite album of the year list.
The album is not as good as the lyric video.
No, that makes sense.
I do like it, but it's not as good as some of the other ones that I mentioned. Yeah.
But I do like that video. I remember you telling me about it, and it's a fun watch.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
almost like they could have just taken out if there was a way to take out the words so you can just watch it as a music video, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, once they put the official one out, I was so disappointed. Man, that other one was beautiful. Like, it was so good. What did they do with the new ones? I don't know. I think they just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure the band was in it, which is weird. Offspring has better music videos when they're not in the music video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're getting too old. They don't know how to understand the audience, I guess, which is us. So I didn't have as big of a list as you, but a couple ones that did come to mind, and I mentioned some of these. A song by Tame Impala, who I didn't really know who it is, but he's apparently some Australian musician. He's had a lot of good songs, and they're fun. They're very like vibe videos where you're just like chilling and listening to them. And he did a video called "Loser," which maybe we'll cover in the future, maybe not. But it's a really simple video, and it follows this guy who like is he argued with his girl. His girlfriend drove off and he goes to a convenience store, and the whole video is just him like sitting on the front of this store, just like chilling and like kind of, I guess, reflecting on his life. Or it's really like a lot of like feel like how people feel like they're going nowhere and they just sit there and their life like kind of goes along, and he's not like even really reflecting on the relationship that we don't know much about that just ended. I think they put a lot into the video. It's like that doesn't really it's like a show not tell thing where you're like we're just watching this and you can take in a lot of based on his reactions in the day.
It's a music video where there's somebody hanging out in front of a convenience store.
Hmm.
That's groundbreaking.
I know, right? That's the best part about it. It's like they took that format and just turned it on its head.
Yeah.
Um, I do think also a little bit, and I'll mention this after I mention kind of my other noteworthy video, my third one, but I guess I'll mention it now anyway. I'm swaying back and forth on do I like big production videos or am I like liking these simpler ones? And what am I in the mood for? And I like both, but a good example, and this one was fun, and I know it's kind of everyone knows Ophelia, Taylor Swift, all of her videos are big productions. They do a lot of stuff. This one was really fun. And it's more like a staged performance. So it's like everything's made and then she goes to a different scene and it's well choreographed, well shot, well produced. I liked it. But then I was thinking about this other video and I'm like, what am I pulling towards these days? Do I like that there is more of like a simpler, not even low budget, but just like low glossiness video? Or am I pulling towards like, do I like these high production videos with a bunch of things going on? And I don't know what the answer is, but I think I like both.
No, I mean, I totally follow you there. Yeah, there's certainly some videos that are high production that are amazing. Like we covered Tonight and Black Parade and stuff like that, which were awesome. But then we've also seen some this year that we liked a lot that weren't very high production. You don't necessarily need it, right?
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point of to like what we've seen, like I think from the late MTV days where most of the videos were high budget, high productions, but now artists can still do whatever they want. My other noteworthy video is from Talking Heads, and I mentioned this to you as well. It's not a new song, it's Psycho Killer. It's
Yeah.
been around for like 30 years, 40 years, whatever it came out, a very old song. And you're like, okay, why are they releasing a music video? But I mean, Offspring did it with one of the videos we covered, so it's not breaking new ground in that sense, but it's another one of those, like, you just watch and you kind of absorb what's happening, and this one stars Saoirse Ronan, and it's capturing her, like, everyday life. So she wakes up, makes her coffee, goes into the office, talks with her coworkers, gets home, and you just see that on loop, and I guess it's probably, like, the best way to make a video for that song, because how can you do a video with a song about Psycho Killer? Like, there's not many lyrics in this song, and there's not much to it, but it's like a slice of life in that your normal routine and how you can go crazy and, like, yell at your coworkers, not even listening to you, and, like, you just wanna scream sometimes, and you just wanna have normal life, and then you wanna do this, and, like, it was a very fun, like, a reflection of just a real world person's routine of going to their job every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching that one when it came out after you mentioned it to me. Yeah, it's a good video. Very strange, right? How to have a music video come out so long after the song. I mean, decades after the song came out, but still pretty cool.
Apparently, now I'm reading online that the video helped commemorate the band's first show at CBGB 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Some kind of promotion 50 years ago. Geez, though.
Yeah.
That was like when Jaws came out. Those were my top ones, I think, that I could remember. It's, been a long year. So the next one is our favorite old video that you've never seen before that we didn't cover.
So At first I had nothing for this. I was looking at this category. I was like, I don't know. And then I found a way to go into my YouTube viewing history and get a list that I could like sort in a certain way, which is actually very tough. If you're ever looking to do this, let me just little explanation. There's something called Google Takeout, which I've never heard of before, but any data that Google has on you, you can get access to. So I wanted to see my YouTube viewing history. So you can export it. It takes a few minutes, or it says it can take days. But I got all like my watch history, and I was able to find some that I thought I've been watching forever. But yeah, apparently I saw them all this year, so for the first time. I mentioned earlier that Atarashi Gakko band. I discovered them this last year. They had a song called Tokyo Calling from a few years ago. It's kind of got like a Godzilla theme to it. It's very fun, and it is an excellent introduction to this band. Another one I saw for the first time this year is My Money by Cerebro. They're a Russian band. I love the band. I've seen a lot of their other stuff. For some reason, this one just completely skipped by me, but it came out in the middle of Donald Trump's first term. And if you're not a fan of that guy, then I think you'd like this video because it's a little mocking of him.
Nice.
But it's a fun video regardless. So I've oddly never heard of 5 Seconds of Summer somehow, which apparently they had a
Oh,
really
wow.
big yeah. I don't know how I skipped out hearing about them, but I discovered them this year, and they had a song called Teeth that I really like, and the video is really fun as well. Why Worry by Set It Off, very fun video. I've kind of been following this band for a little bit, and I didn't think they had music videos, but I discovered that one this year from a few years ago. But favorite old video that I'd never seen before this year was Bloody Valentine by Machine Gun Kelly. Got a Megan Fox in it. It's a very fun, and that girl just knows how to pick these videos because she's in the Eminem one, Love the Way You Lie. Yeah, every decade she pops up and does one great music video. But I'd really never been a Machine Gun Kelly fan, and then he did a song with Avril Lavigne. So that
Nice.
that bridged me into his world, and yeah, I discovered this one from a few years ago. Love it.
I was also struggling a little bit, but I did remember a few, and I don't know if they're my favorites, but I mentioned, maybe I haven't mentioned on the podcast yet, but I read a book about the history of music video, and it starts with like the first Beatles songs that were considered music videos, and then goes into it ends in like the early 2000s, so we don't get the complete history per se, but it did open my eyes to like a lot of kind of random videos. One which was kind of a fun one, Freedom 90 by George Michael. It's a famous one. It's like all these models singing and talking about freedom. And of course, the song's really more kind of about him. But the video was really well done. And it's like high production. And this one was pretty fun. So I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, I want to say it was like Kathy Ireland, or there was some like real big model, and it might have been Cindy Crawford, maybe.
It was all models. I think some of them
Yeah,
were like already superstars.
yeah. At least one of them is like a real big superstar that's in there. But I remember that one. I want to say we were in middle school when it came out, something like that. But 1990 is that can't be right. 90?
Freedom 90. So it must have been 90 or around that time.
Wow. Okay, maybe I just didn't see it till I was in middle school, but it was one of the more erotic music videos that MTV would show at that point.
Yeah.
There's, a lot of skin. As a middle school boy, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?"
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there were a few other old videos that were like censored or changed for MTV, including a Duran Duran song, Girls on Film. And you can watch the regular version on YouTube. I think you have to look for the uncensored version, but there's a lot of nudity in it or a music video.
Wow.
And so you can see why MTV censored a lot out of it. But that was an interesting one. I wouldn't call it a good video, but it was interesting to see, like in the early 80s, what these bands were doing for videos because Frankie Goes to Hollywood and that song Relax also has an original video. You can find like the regular one, or you might be able to find them both. And in that video, he like walks into this club that's basically the big S&M orgy situation. Again, I don't know if I call my favorite, but it was very interesting to see these old videos that had really a lot of. And again, I think Frankie Goes to Hollywood must be a British band as well, so they're very lax probably on their like regulations or whatnot. But yeah, definitely a couple of interesting ones. I think though my top, and we'll probably talk about this in an episode, is the Madonna era when she was doing like a Virgin and stuff like that. Never seen any of them. A lot of these were directed by David Fincher. It was really high production and up the ante of music videos. But Like a Virgin was it was again another controversial video where there's a black man that's Jesus in the video and like he's jailed and she's like going through a lot of this stuff. So a lot of religious imagery and things like that that were a little taboo. And she just put them in her video and she made like a great video with a great song for it. So I really like that one.
Very cool. Yeah, Madonna's got some great stuff. Yeah, we should probably do a Madonna episode.
Should we get into our end of the year discussion?
Yeah, let's do some end of year awards.
First of all, I want to talk about you mentioned already Spotify mentioned some awards for us. They do a Spotify wrap for creators as well. So I'm going to just kind of point out a few factoids that they gave us. First, and I don't know if you did you watch the wrap?
Yes.
Our top episode was the Smashing Pumpkins episode, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, which was listened to more than any of the other episodes. I don't know if I would say I was surprised, but I think either we hit good timing with the 30th anniversary or we just had a really good subject.
I was a little surprised that that got the most views only because they haven't been as relevant as some of the other artists that we've covered recently. But I do think that people think about their music videos quite a lot. And if you think of a band that has had great videos, yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, one of the first that comes to mind.
Yeah. Another, I guess, surprise for me was that we were a number one show for six fans. So I'm happy for that. I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
for those
absolutely.
fans. We had over 20 episodes this year, but I'm just like, some people come out weekly with stuff. So maybe we just have a really good following.
Well, it has been said that we are the best podcast about music videos. So maybe they're just fans of quality music videos.
Yeah, that's true. So then maybe were you surprised about our top artists from our fans?
A little bit here and there.
Yeah. Well, I think our number one artist, I'll pretend Alex listens to the show, but is Taylor Swift. That is the top artist.
What were the other top artists?
Let's see what we got here. So we have Taylor Swift, My Chemical Romance, Oasis. We did have an Oasis episode. The Beatles, top band. I assume that makes
Quite
sense.
net, yeah.
But Stray Kids, which I think I've heard that name before, but I don't know
Yeah,
if I know them.
they're a K-pop band.
Ah, that makes
So
sense. Why I've never
it's all
heard of them.
those Gangnam Style listeners. Yeah,
Listen, yeah, are
yeah.
they any good?
They're not really one I've ever gotten into. If memory serves correct, they're like a male K-pop band, and I
Yeah,
weirdly
you like
don't.
to listen to only the all girl bands.
Yeah, yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, there's a different vibe to them. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, they're more poppy, I assume. Yeah, yeah.
the girl ones are. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so pretty good. And again, this was just Spotify. We get a lot of listens on YouTube as well. So I don't know if they gave us any detailed analytics.
yeah. They didn't give us a lot. Get
Yeah,
your game up,
they're always
YouTube.
catching up, those Googles. Rob, what were your like top 3 to 5 maybe videos that we covered from the year?
So this was tough. I was trying to figure out my favorite, and really I just have like a 1A, 1B, or I guess you might just call it a tie for the Black Parade and Tonight Tonight. I remember thinking at one point it would be hard for anybody going forward to top Tonight Tonight. And then the Black Parade came out, and wow, I mean, beautiful. The cinematic experience of both of those, I don't think anybody will top them going forward. But I said that before. So surprise me, media.
Well, it's funny you say that. I think I put Black Parade on the top of my list as well. And Tonight's up there too. I think Black Parade, I mean, again, they're basically the same. No need to really like split hairs on how good they are. But yeah, I think Black Parade just won a little bit more because I think that song really hypes you up too. So
Yeah.
like watching the video and getting hyped up really helped. But those were the top of my list.
Third best for me, you're going to go Far Kid by The Offspring.
Mm,
You know what? I realized we were doing Sledge, and I kept talking about like that cursed object, and it's not really a cursed object, and you're going to go Far Kid, but it's certainly a gifted magical item that is abused, and it's that's another one
yeah.
of those like storylines I just love. I was also a big fan of both The Perfect Drug and Closer by Nine Inch Nails,
Mm,
both of those videos. But actually, I wanted to keep it down to five, so I just chose The Perfect Drug for this one. I know Closer is the more widely known video, but I personally like The Perfect Drug more. And Pieces by Sum 41. Yeah, you were talking earlier about
ah.
like, do you really need a major production for a music video? And Pieces didn't need it. It got everything it was trying to communicate across with pretty simple music video.
So yeah, I'm a little different for my favorites. So I put Everlong next.
Yeah.
I rewatched that because I'm like, let me go rewatch some of these. And that one's just such a fun storyline video as well. And Dave Grohl looking like Jerry Seinfeld is always funny. Not that he intended to, but they just have a very similar look.
What is the deal with this giant hand?
Exactly, exactly. And then actually, I kept bouncing around, but none of these lists matter. So everybody, Backstreet's Back, I thought was one of my favorites for the year that we talked about. And I remember seeing it as a kid, but rewatching it and then watching it again. It's a video that I think has some rewatchability because there's so many different little storylines and monsters that you can just watch it a few more times and like kind of notice everyone a little more.
Absolutely agree. It was in my top 10 when I was, like, whittling down the list.
Okay.
I'm there with you. Yeah.
And then the Olivia Rodrigo song "Deja Vu," I know I talked about it a lot during the episode. Just like one of those, like, kind of weird storylines where who's stalking who, and I think this do a good job of showing that off. So, yeah, I think that rounds out my top 5.
Fantastic, yeah.
So, this category, what was and I don't we didn't really define it too well, but what was the most surprising video for you?
I kinda went back and forth in my mind on how to pick most surprising video. I got 3, but I chose 1 as what is the most surprising video. "One More Time" by Blink-182 is a runner-up for
Mm,
me. It was kinda weird because it was surprising to me at the original time I watched it, where it's just so basic, however, it still pulls so much emotion out of you and, obviously leverages all the, like, the nostalgia of the old videos.
yeah.
So, yeah, "One More Time." Miss Jackson by Outkast was surprising to me because I'd never seen the video before, and I was very impressed with what they did with it. Not so much like I know there's, like, some CGI that's a little
Mhm.
silly, but more the taking the contents of the, like, broken relationship and pushing that into, like, a broken car or a broken house, like, physical house where they're trying to fix it. I really liked what they did with it, and it's more than I would have thought they would do. I'm not trying to dismiss Outkast, but it was just surprising to me how great of a music video they put out for that song. But the most surprising video of the year for me was Cheerleader by Porter Robinson. I'd never heard of this guy, and what an awesome video and song. I love the song too, but when you suggested it, I was like, I don't even know what this is. And I guess I was thinking it's that other cheerleader song. You know the one I'm talking about? The
By the I think I found a
Yeah, I
cheerleader.
thought
Da,
that's
da.
what it
Yeah,
was going
yeah.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we talked a lot about just the color explosion and so much visuals being just like cycled through at once in Cheerleader, the music video, that I was very pleasantly surprised at what an awesome one that was. And as I recall, that was a suggestion from a listener.
Yes, it was. Though neither of those were on my surprising video because I think I knew Cheerleader was gonna be good because the friend who just suggested it told me about it and kinda gave me a heads up. And I seen the Miss Jackson video, but they were both, like, excellent videos, so that doesn't surprise me. For me, I was like you, and I define surprise as, like, I didn't know what to expect maybe, or I had maybe I wouldn't say low expectations, but I didn't have many expectations, and for me, this was the Torn music video by Natalie and Imbruglia,
Yeah.
and I never saw it as a kid. I remember just kind of the image of them in that apartment. I didn't know what to expect when I started watching it. I didn't realize it was going to be like the house is falling apart and then you're on the soundstage. They did such a good job. It really surprised me of how good this video was going to be. And I think even when we talked about it, you're like, "Oh, I don't know about this video,"
Yeah.
and then you got surprised because you were like, "Oh, wait, this is actually is a good video."
Mhm.
It just no one remembers it. I think. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree there. I remember seeing it when it first came out, but I guess I wasn't really analyzing videos back then like we are now. And yeah, very surprising there. Good pick.
All right, so our next category is the most chaotic video. Or yeah, most chaotic video, and I have a pretty high winner on that.
What a bizarre category this is.
Yeah, yeah. Who recommended this?
Did I recommend this
I
category?
think. Well, you had assistance from some AI to tell you some
Oh, I
good
may have.
category.
Yeah, here's some options. Yeah. So runner up for this is "Heads Will Roll" by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Certainly did not see where that one was going, but absolute chaos. I mean, for people involved in the video as well.
Yeah,
But for me, the clear winner was "Dividing by Zero." Slim Pickens decides to right there. I don't remember the
rides
entire
bomb and rules the world, or some
yeah,
long
yeah,
unnecessary title.
the Offspring animated video. Just, I mean, absolute bonkers chaos with the war and him going to hell or purgatory or whatever it is and all that. Very fast moving, very chaotic.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I went with the Hell Song by Sum 41.
Hell yeah.
Because when I thought of chaos, I was like, okay, there's nothing more chaotic than a bunch of these action figures being running around and like they're doing all these like crazy things with it. And again, we spoke about low budget videos. This was like the pinnacle of low budget, right? Like they bought a bunch of action figures. The biggest challenge was making sure they could get approval from the rights, and that wasn't even like a cost issue, just a time issue. But yeah, and then they just got to play with action figures as their music video with a great song to go with it.
That is a great pick. Yeah, defining it like that, I love it. I guess you could do a lot of Sum 41 videos as just pure chaos. Like, what was the one where they're the sums and they're like, just start trashing?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Hell Song, excellent choice for most chaotic video.
best storytelling video. So I think I know what you're thinking, but maybe not.
Oh man, this was a tough one to pick. I have so many honorable mentions for this one. So The Reason and Same Direction, kind of like the dual
Mm,
part music video, great storytelling that kinda kept us guessing. Stand by Eminem, loved that as, like, a storytelling. We already kinda spoke about it, but Everlong, another great storytelling video. My Chemical Romance's Sing and Na Na Na
mm.
have that, like, running story length for, it's supposed to be the entire album, but everything that they put out for that album. I wanted to say You're Gonna Go Far, Kid, but I've already kind of highlighted it as one of the best videos we've done. I'm only not giving it this award because it's already been recognized.
Sorry, guys, you won already won.
Yeah, yeah. Once you've won higher award, I gotta start spreading the love a little bit. So I'm going with Sledge by Dance with the Dead.
Nice.
Is that what you
Yeah.
thought I'd pick?
No, so actually what I picked too was You're Gonna Go Far Kid. I went through the same path as you with like Stan and Hoobastank and stuff like that. But I just thought in the end, I was like, what tells a clear story? As clear as and not a clear story per se, but like pretty clear story of like someone like a rags to riches and then a downfall story.
Mhm.
And since you gave him that award, I guess I'll give him the award for
Yeah.
best storytelling video of the year.
Yeah, very fair. Yeah, amazing storytelling. Obviously, I think that's probably the winner. But
Yeah, but no, you have to
uh,
be fair, we don't want any feelings to be hurt from these artists.
well, I don't want to give out like a consolation trophy or anything like that. But yeah,
But you
You're gonna go
did.
for Kid. Amazing storytelling video.
Yeah, yeah. All right, the next category is best visual video.
Ooh, so here we go again with like we just said Tonight and Black Parade are the two top videos that we've reviewed this year. Love both of those. I do want to spread the love a little bit. Honorable mention to Virtual Insanity.
Mm,
Some really cool visuals in that one that, was breaking everybody's brain back in 1990s. But ultimately for me, it's The Perfect Drug by Nine Inch Nails.
yeah, that seems up your alley. So it's funny, virtual insanity was on my short list for this because I do agree it had a lot of stuff going on and it's such a simple concept that was well executed. But Tonight was my top list. I think just the practicality of it and the looks and the throwbacks to the old movies really sold it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Art direction wise, like, wow. I
Yeah.
know we've glossed over it so much in the original episode and this episode already.
Hey, it's worth noting.
It's worth every glossing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I'm using the right word there, glossing.
No, glazing, no, I think that's used differently.
Yeah,
Some word that's hip. Alright, so what about most rewindable moment? Again, this is your AI buddy picking this category out.
yeah, we asked ChatGPT to give us some good categories. This is what it spit out. So I interpreted this a few different ways as I was kind of going through what videos I thought deserved it. I think as far as what just happened, or wait, I need to watch that again to understand this. Always by Blink 182, the one with the
Mhm.
three stripes, where it's like
Yeah.
you're kind of following three different stories at the same time that keep coming together and falling apart. Closer by Nine Inch Nails, another honorable mention where it's like there's so many fast cut,
Mhm.
very interesting things. You want to, oh wait, I wanted to wait, what was that? And you go back, rewind it again. Ultimately, something I think about, like of all these videos, which part have I rewound the most and watched over and over again is Helena by My Chemical Romance. The scene where she comes out of the coffin and dances.
Mhm.
Like, okay, that's the part that I've gone back and like just watched that part over and over again a lot.
I kinda divined rewindable for with you a little bit, and then I, try to give some more parameters, but the Backstreet's Back, I mentioned that's you can watch it a few times. I think you're right with Closer, there's a lot of, like, "Let me watch that again" moments. That Always song, which I still don't like the video, but I did have to watch that was probably my most rewindable video because I was like, "I gotta understand what's going on."
Yeah.
In the end, it wasn't worth it, but I did it anyway. I think Virtual Insanity actually was on mine because I think, it's funny watching it on HD. You can kind of see the little cheats, but it's still really cool. And you're just like, the first time you watch it, you're just like, what? How does he do all this cool stuff? And then when you learn it's even simpler than that, it's just the floor doesn't move, but the whole structure moves. It's kind of cool to rewatch and then watch how they track it and how they do that. And the couches move along until someone behind the wall unscrews the couch so then it can move along. It just gives a little cool magic to it. So that was the most rewindable moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best behind the scenes like action going on there. Yeah.
Well, this one will be a fun category. So best outfit in a video.
So there's a few ways to define this one, but I think there's just like an obvious choice. It's the red Michael Jackson
Yes,
Thriller
that was
jacket.
my pick. Yes, I was
Yeah,
like, it's hard. I mean, there was a lot of competition, I think, and you can mention some, but like the Black Parade outfit, the California
absolutely.
Love outfits, the any of the Andre 3000 outfits are
Oh yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, every time I went back, I was like, the MJ jacket just defined like the decade.
absolutely. I mean, like when you think of best music videos, it's one that you always think of, but
Mhm.
that just iconic outfit. Honorable mentions, Oops, I Did It Again, the red spandex Britney outfit.
We haven't covered that episode yet, but we
Well, it'll come out
sorry.
by the time.
Well, actually, this is a good spoiler for next season, but it'll come out after this episode. But that is a good outfit. Sorry,
Yes.
gave you some spoilers for dedicated listeners.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Baby One More Time, the schoolgirl outfit.
Mhm.
If I were to pick something other than Thriller, the Pretty Fly for a White Guy outfit, I think I'm a little brainwashed because I follow The Offspring on social media, and every concert, there's somebody who's dressed up as him, like in the fans, like dress up as him, and they always take pictures of those fans and post them on social media. So maybe I'm just a little brainwashed by that. And yeah, one more last honorable mention. What's my age again?
I
And
thought about that as an outfit. I was like, can I mention like the nude shorts they wear? And I was like, oh, that would be, yeah, it's definitely an honorable mention because it was definitely a cool concept.
yeah, but yeah, Thriller. How can you beat Thriller?
Yeah. So that was an easy category. This one, we should have probably cut this from what AI was giving us, but best use of a prop in a video.
So I'll tell you the worst use of a prop first.
Okay.
Everybody by Backstreet Boys, when I think his name's Brian, at the very beginning of the video, finds like a wolf or a raccoon. I'm not really not sure what it
Oh,
is
some skull.
in his bed or a squirrel. I don't know. He like pulls it out and screams. It's like clearly a stuffed animal. So unbelievable. It's weird because every time I see the video, I'm like, this is bizarre that they went cheap right here. Like everything else was great. I don't know.
Well, we saw it in HD too, maybe like back in the day. It
Possibly.
looked
Yeah.
real.
Then I went on a few different paths. The Hell Song, like the figurines, I
Mhm.
don't know if those really count as props because they're really the characters. And by
Mhm.
that same token, the walking disaster robot, again,
Mhm.
it's basically our main character. So I had to go with the bat, the baseball bat from Blink 182's First Date that
Ah.
Tom throws and it goes into the girl's bike and she skids along and he has that iconic, meme, the WTF meme.
Yeah, I think so. You've convinced me because I couldn't think of many props, but I think you're right. The bat is probably the best use of the prop because it does move the story along and gives a funny scene. I was thinking like, well, what's a good prop? And like you, I went through the same route, but I ended up with maybe the nunchucks in Everlong when he's carrying the wood and then he drops it and the two of them turn into nunchucks.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. And then I was like, well, maybe his hand is a prop too, because when his hand gets really big and he slaps around the
Yeah.
other band members, those were what I was going for, but I do think you're right. I'm switching my vote to the bat.
Some other cool, I just off the top of my head, like the pig head in
Mhm. Closer.
Closer, like the what do you call it? Absinthe, the glowing green absinthe and Perfect
Perfect
Drug.
drug.
Yeah, a lot of great props out there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, and then I think we can talk about best episode tangent. I think we were trying to figure this one out too, but
Yeah,
I said my notes were like maybe a Babel metal tangent that you went on. But I will say I will also add, and this wasn't I mean it's kind of a tangent, but I think there were a couple episodes. I know one was Oasis, and I'm trying to think of another one where I asked you like what the instrument was or how things sounded. To me, that was kind of educational in the sense of like understanding how the music works.
so like the music theory behind it and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like less of a tangent because that was just kind of an explanation of something. But those were some of my notable moments.
Yeah, this was a tough one. I was thinking like maybe Dave Brown sound almost drowning in Too Deep, but really
Mm.
that's not even a tangent. We're talking about the music video itself. Until I finally figured it out. We spent quite a while trying to figure out how to say this girl's name. And YouTube and TikTok and Instagram listeners let us know how to pronounce what I kept saying as Hyuna in the Gangnam Style.
Oh yeah.
And the funniest part about everybody correcting us is that they were not all the same the way that they were telling us how to say it. So I went in and I did some research. Google says it's Hyuna, which is how I was saying it. There are several different YouTube videos with different pronunciations like Henna or Hien Na, a few others. I didn't write them all down, but I finally found a video of Kim Hyuna. Or, I keep saying it wrong, but of this lady saying her own name. It is Kim Hyun Ah, which I think was probably the majority of what people were telling us in the comments. Absolutely. Thank you for letting us know because now we know that's how to
Yeah,
spell.
definitely. I will say that discussion is one of our best videos on TikTok. And people got on down a rabbit hole, and people who listen to K-pop probably know, but like she kind of became controversial because she was part of some scams or something a few years ago, or like at the time she was big, and then I guess she's had some controversy, and a lot of people on TikTok were just talking to each other, not even to us, about what happened to her.
Yeah. She is friends with a guy who got into some real bad stuff. We won't get into the whole scandal here, but that's certainly a reason that people have turned on her. In the K-pop world, yeah, the crowd perception of you changes so fast, and you got to be so
Mhm.
careful. It's probably why they don't let a lot of these young artists have social media. It's all
Yeah,
curated
you're not
because
allowed to have freedom as a K-pop artist. You make the money and then you get your life back, I guess, once the contract ends.
they really don't even make that much money. It's
Well,
so sad.
what a horrible industry, I guess.
We'll do a K-pop episode later.
Yeah. We'll do a behind the music K-pop.
Glorify it. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, I think that covers all the topics that we came up with or that AI decided to suggest. Yeah, this was a pretty fun year. And before we move on to closing out this episode, let's talk a little bit about next year. And we just have a couple categories. I don't even know if I filled out all my notes on these categories, but the top one is what artists do we look forward to covering in the future?
This year we covered a lot of great music videos. It's hard to like look at these and say how could you possibly go better than this? Because yeah, like you said, Black Parade, Tonight, Closer, like awesome music videos. I think we'll find a way though. You know who we have not touched yet is Lady Gaga, somebody known for like
Yeah.
some amazing music videos. A couple others that are of personal interest to me. Avril Lavigne,
Mhm.
she's come up a few times on this already, but yeah, love Avril Lavigne. She's got some fun music videos. David Guetta has some great music videos. He's got just a wide variety of music out there. I mean, not really a variety of
It's
music,
all
but
techno-y,
yeah,
electronic. Yeah.
I meant to say a wide variety of music video genres.
Okay.
Western one, there's a bunch. I won't go into them all right now. So she just came out with a new album for Christmas, but she's got a lot of really good music videos as well. The Pretty Reckless, Taylor Momsen. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's the actress who played Cindy Lou Who in the Jim Carrey Grinch movie. She grew
Never
up
seen it.
and you ever saw the Grinch, the Jim Carrey one?
No, I mean, in my defense, I was like an adult by the time that movie came out.
She grew up and became a rock star and has a really fun band called the Pretty Reckless, and they've got some cool music videos. I don't know if I'll ever talk you into this, but Rammstein's got some great ones.
Ooh. Well, we are talking about
And
we will talk about genres we want to expand to, and Rammstein's a little bit more of a subgenre within a genre, I guess.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are some of the artists I've kind of like looked ahead at the next year. I was like, oh yeah, maybe we could do some of these.
So I kind of picked three, but I can definitely talk about a few more. But another top one, and we mentioned Madonna, so I won't mention that again. But Red Hot Chili Peppers, they have a ton of cool
Ooh,
music videos, and we
yeah,
haven't
they do.
really talked about any of those. And they have a lot of, I think they get a lot of famous directors. But yeah, a lot of their videos are just kind of cool and interesting.
I'm on board. Yeah, I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. This one, I think our boy Holden would enjoy, and this is kind of a different genre-ish too, but Bjork has a lot of weird videos, and I know Michel Gondry, who did Everlong, the famous French director, he's directed a lot of her videos. Very cool, practical, weird. They do have like they do feel like Everlong a little bit, but quirky vibes and really different types of music videos and different types of music, right?
I've only seen a few Bjork videos and maybe only once each, but she certainly has a bizarre, just everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she's a great artist. She's very unique, and the videos definitely show.
yeah, I'd be interested in checking her out. Yeah.
And then this one I mentioned because I wanted to go old school pre-MTV is Devo, and they have very, I mean, they're very low budget. You can see like I think Beastie Boys gets some of their music video influences from
Okay.
Devo and the costumes and the style. And I don't even really like Devo like as a band that much. I mean, I like the hit songs here and there, but I think since they were pre-MTV, you really got to see a band that like did a lot of cool music videos in that time period, and they're not like amazing, but they're unique enough, I think, that they weren't like at least an episode to talk about like three of their best ones or something like that.
And they weren't impacted by trying to do what somebody else was doing on MTV. That's pretty cool. Like, yeah, it's unfiltered or not unfiltered, unpainted.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's another band our boy Holden Lux. So, maybe he'll give
Just
us some insight on his favorite videos.
we're making podcasts directly for Holden now.
Sorry, other six listeners. We got a new person to woo.
Speaking of which, yes, if you're listening to this and you've got some recommendations for good music videos we could cover, or just some comments on videos we have covered, you can hit us up on our website, rewindandreact.com. You have a contact page there. We've also got a Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, probably one of the other ones. We have an email address. I should probably mention that.
Yes.
Rewind and react reactpodcast@gmail.com. That's an and spelled out like the word, not an ampersand. Well, I don't think you can put an ampersand in an email address.
Hmm.
Yeah, rewind and react dot. Let's start over. Rewind and react podcast@gmail.com. Or yeah, everything's on the website. You can find us there.
Yeah, we kept the email short so you can remember it. Perfect. So should we just wrap it up? Call it an episode?
Yeah, let's call it an episode. What kind of trivia you got?
This time I don't have trivia,
Yeah.
but I will finish with a final question. What has been your favorite trivia episode we've done?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, it's not the Natalie Merchant one.
Oh yeah, that one is infamous.
Man, it's kind of hard to remember them all now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know. That's why I didn't have it on the official questions because we
Yeah,
got to do too much remembering already.
yeah.
But look out for next year. We'll do more music videos, more different styles of videos, more genres, and of course, more excellent trivia questions for Rob to figure out.
Yes. Thank you for listening, and by all means, contact us, rewindandreact.com.